Every woman has felt it before. That confusion when a man seems deeply interested one moment and suddenly distant the next. He replies slower. He becomes harder to read. His energy shifts quietly. And you find yourself wondering what changed. Did you do something wrong? Did he lose interest? Or did he simply stop feeling the emotional pull that makes a man chase a woman with real intention? Men don't chase because of beauty alone. They don't chase because of compliments, attention, or affection. A man chases when a woman triggers a specific emotional response, a response so rare in modern dating that when he feels it, he locks onto her with a seriousness he didn't expect. This feeling isn't desire, although desire is part of it. It isn't excitement, although excitement plays a role. And it's not fear of losing her, because fear cannot sustain genuine pursuit. The feeling that makes a man chase is something deeper. Emotional clarity wrapped in feminine mystery. That perfect balance where he feels safe enough to want you, challenged enough to respect you, and intrigued enough to invest in the connection without hesitation. Men do not chase chaos. Men do not chase drama. Men do not chase unpredictability for long. They chase the woman who makes their inner world feel sharper, calmer, inspired, and alive, all at the same time. Most women are taught to play hard to get, to withhold affection, or to create artificial distance. But that only works on insecure men. High-value men respond to something else entirely. The woman whose energy disrupts their emotional routine. The woman whose presence gives peace, not pressure. The woman who has direction, not desperation. The woman who carries softness without weakness and boundaries without hostility. A man chases the woman he cannot replace. Not because she is perfect, but because her presence activates a part of him that has been sleeping. His competitive instinct, his desire to pursue. His masculine urge to move toward what feels meaningful. When a man feels this emotional spark, this blend of comfort and curiosity, his mind begins to reorganize its priorities around you. He begins to think differently, act differently, show up differently. And here's the truth every woman needs to hear. Men do not fall in love because someone wins them over. Men fall in love because a woman awakens a deeper version of themselves, the version that wants to protect, provide, commit, and pursue with sincerity. When he feels that awakening, he chases not out of fear, but out of purpose, not out of ego, but out of connection, not out of impulse, but out of instinct. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to trigger that feeling in him. The feeling that makes him step up. The feeling that makes him value you genuinely. The feeling that makes him chase you with clarity, consistency, and intention. Section 1. The emotional shift that makes a man see you differently. Every man, no matter how confident he appears, moves through the world with a protective layer around his emotions. This layer isn't built from arrogance or indifference. It's built from past experiences, silent expectations, unspoken fears, and the masculine tendency to shield vulnerability. Most men are not afraid of women. They are afraid of choosing the wrong woman, giving too much, or opening a door that leads to disappointment. This is why men don't give their full energy to every woman they meet. They wait, observe, and evaluate quietly. And the moment a man begins to see a woman differently is not when she gives him attention, compliments, or affection. It is when she triggers a very specific emotional shift in his inner world. This shift happens when he senses something rare about her presence. Something that tells him she is not chaotic, she is not demanding, she is not desperate, and she is not trying to force herself into his life. Instead, she embodies a calm, feminine energy that feels both soothing and intriguing. Men are drawn to women who lower their internal tension, not raise it. They chase the woman who brings clarity into their life, not confusion. They desire the woman whose presence feels like a stabilizing force rather than an emotional storm. And when a man feels this emotional shift, he begins to look at her through a completely different lens. A man becomes deeply drawn to a woman who carries herself with quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need to be loud or performative. When he notices that she has a life she genuinely loves, that she has boundaries she honors, and that she isn't trying to control the pace of the connection, he relaxes. He drops his guard. He starts observing her more closely, not to decide whether she is worthy of him, but to understand how he can become worthy of her. This is the moment the dynamic flips. He is no longer assessing her. He is trying to impress her. Men love challenges when the challenges are grounded in authenticity, not games. The challenge of understanding a woman who is warm but not easy, open but not exposed, present but not dependent. This is the type of challenge that activates his masculine instinct to pursue with intention. He feels respected by her, but he also feels that she respects herself. He feels drawn toward her, but he also senses she won't chase him or compete for his validation. This combination creates an emotional environment where he feels both safe and motivated, a powerful mix that very few women know how to create. The moment he senses that she is not trying to trap him, change him, or cling to him, he begins to lean in. He pays more attention to her voice, her presence, her silence, and her standards. He starts prioritizing her because he senses she could be the woman who brings balance into his life rather than chaos disguised as love. This emotional shift is the foundation of pursuit. It is the moment he realizes she is not just a woman. She is a possibility worth chasing. Section 2. The feminine energy that awakens his pursuit instinct. Men do not chase women who overwhelm them. They do not chase women who pressure them. They do not chase women who try to direct or control every emotional moment of the connection. What awakens a man's pursuit instinct is the presence of a feminine energy that feels both calming and elevating. A presence that makes him feel more like the man he wants to be when he is around her. This is the energy that ignites something ancient inside him. Something instinctive, something deeply wired into masculine psychology. The urge to move towards something meaningful, not because he is pushed, but because he is pulled. Feminine energy does not come from appearance alone. It is not about a certain tone of voice, a particular style, or the way she physically presents herself. Feminine energy is emotional. It is psychological. It is how she speaks, how she listens, how she reacts, and how she navigates connection. Feminine energy is softness without weakness, openness without neediness, warmth without losing self-respect. And when a woman embodies this balance, she becomes irresistible to a man who is emotionally mature enough to recognize it. Men are naturally drawn to women who lead with calmness rather than chaos. When a man meets a woman who doesn't rush emotional intimacy, who doesn't demand constant reassurance, and who doesn't turn every small moment into a dramatic test, he feels safe. Emotional safety is extremely rare for men because society teaches them to hide their sensitivity, their fears, and their emotional wounds. So when he encounters a woman who creates emotional space instead of emotional pressure, his instinct is to stay close to her. He begins to see her as someone with whom he can let his guard down without losing his sense of masculinity. A woman's softness becomes powerful when she pairs it with boundaries. Men do not chase softness that bends for everything. They chase softness that knows its worth. Men do not chase a woman who says yes when she means no. They chase the woman whose yes feels genuine and whose no feels grounded. Men do not chase a woman who abandons her life to fit into his. They chase the woman who maintains her independence while making space for connection. This combination of softness and structure creates emotional polarity. The masculine energy naturally moves toward the feminine energy that feels both receptive and selective. When he feels that her life is full but not closed, that her heart is open but not desperate, that her presence is warm but not overwhelming, something powerful awakens in him. He starts valuing her time. He starts respecting her boundaries. He starts adjusting his behavior to meet her standards. His masculine energy rises in response to her feminine grace. And this is when pursuit becomes natural for him, not forced. He chases because he feels emotionally elevated by her, not drained. He chases because her presence makes him want to show up better. He chases because she has awakened a part of himself he doesn't feel with other women. This is the essence of feminine energy that inspires masculine pursuit, a blend of softness, depth, clarity, and emotional intelligence that makes him feel drawn to her with intensity and purpose. Section 3. The subtle mystery that makes him invest emotionally. Men are not confused by women who are mysterious. Men are confused by women who use mystery as a game. True feminine mystery is not about disappearing, withholding affection, or pretending to be busy. It is not manipulation, silence, or emotional distance. Real mystery is the quiet depth a woman carries within herself, a depth that he senses but cannot fully understand. It is the sense that she has layers, experiences, insights, and inner worlds that he can feel but cannot instantly access. This is the kind of mystery that makes a man invest emotionally, not because he is lost, but because he is intrigued. When a woman shows every part of herself too quickly, a man does not have the space to pursue discovery. Men fall in love through exploration. They need room to learn her, understand her, and unfold her emotional complexity over time. When everything is given instantly, the journey ends before it begins. But when she reveals herself slowly, intentionally, and naturally, not from fear, but from confidence, she becomes a woman who holds emotional substance. And a man values substance far more than surface-level attraction. Mystery is rooted in self-control. It is the ability to express interest without overexposure. It is the art of being present without being predictable. It is the discipline of not oversharing, not over-explaining, and not rushing intimacy before it is earned. When a man senses that a woman is selective with her emotional world, he feels something he rarely feels: respect. He begins to approach her with more focus, more patience, and more seriousness. He starts giving effort because he knows her attention is not scattered. It is meaningful. A woman becomes unforgettable to a man when she chooses what to reveal and when to reveal it. The small details she shares, the moments of vulnerability she allows, and the glimpses of her inner self she offers at the right time create an emotional progression he becomes invested in. He begins anticipating the next layer. He becomes attentive to her behavior, her expressions, her tone, and her intentions. She becomes a story he wants to continue reading, not a summary he can finish in one page. Mystery also comes from purpose. A woman with her own life, her own goals, interests, passions, and personal growth automatically becomes more intriguing. When he sees that she is not sitting around waiting for him, but genuinely enjoying her own path, he feels admiration. And admiration is one of the strongest emotions that motivate men to pursue with depth. He doesn't want to lose the chance to be part of her world, so he begins stepping into her life with more consistency and effort. The more he realizes she has a life beyond him, the more he wants to earn a place within it. The more he feels she has inner richness, the more he wants to understand her more deeply. The more he sees that she is neither too available nor too distant, the more balanced he feels in the connection. Mystery is not about hiding. It is about revealing slowly, intentionally, and gracefully, creating a rhythm that his masculine energy cannot resist. This is the kind of mystery that makes him invest emotionally, not because he is confused, but because he feels drawn toward her with genuine curiosity and desire. Section 4. The respect dynamic that makes him step up without being asked. If there is one thing every woman needs to understand about men, it is this: men do not chase simply because they feel attracted. They chase when they feel respected. Respect is the emotional currency of the masculine mind, and when a woman knows how to offer it without sacrificing herself, she activates a man in a way that few women ever do. Respect is not submission. It is not silence. It is not letting him lead blindly or accepting behavior that hurts you. Respect is the recognition of his effort, his presence, his intentions, and his masculine nature in a way that makes him feel valued rather than judged or controlled. Men fall for the woman who allows them to rise. Men grow for the woman who gives them space to act. Men commit to the woman who makes them feel like their effort matters. Too many women expect men to give endlessly without ever acknowledging the emotional labor, the mental focus, or the protective instinct behind that effort. When a woman responds to a man's actions with appreciation rather than entitlement, he feels something shift inside him. His masculine nature becomes activated. His desire to show up stronger intensifies. His instinct to protect, provide, and pursue becomes more deliberate. The woman who criticizes every small mistake, who rewrites his intentions, who assumes the worst, or who tries to mold him into a version she has in her mind, suffocates his masculine drive. When a man feels judged or micromanaged, he withdraws. Not because he lacks interest, but because he fears failure. Masculine energy collapses under constant scrutiny. It thrives with recognition. It expands when a woman sees his effort, not just his flaws. It sharpens when she trusts his leadership in the areas where he is naturally stronger. But respect is not just how she treats him, it is how she treats herself. Men chase women who respect their own boundaries, their own time, their own emotional well-being, and their own standards. A woman who accepts anything loses value in his eyes. A woman who stands firmly in her principles, without anger or drama, earns his admiration. She doesn't threaten to leave. She doesn't use emotional manipulation. She simply chooses herself with quiet strength when necessary. That kind of self-respect makes a man want to protect her, not push her away. Respect also shows in how she communicates. Men respond powerfully to women who speak clearly, calmly, and honestly, instead of reacting emotionally to every trigger. When she expresses her needs without attacking him, he listens. When she expresses her feelings without blaming him, he opens up. When she expresses her expectations without ultimatums, he rises to meet them. Men are far more emotional than they appear, but they reveal those emotions only in environments where they do not feel shamed, dismissed, or emasculated. A respected man becomes an intentional man. He becomes more consistent. He becomes more committed. He becomes more protective and more emotionally invested. Not because she demanded it, but because she inspired it. Respect is not about lowering yourself for him. It is about lifting the space between you so he feels safe stepping into it. When he feels this dynamic, this balance of mutual value, he doesn't just stay, he chases, he commits, and he gives the version of himself he reserves only for the woman who understands him on a deeper level. Section 5. The emotional independence that makes him chase your presence. There is a profound misunderstanding many women carry about men. The belief that men chase the woman who gives the most, who stays the closest, or who shows the deepest level of immediate devotion. But mature men do not chase emotional dependency. They chase emotional independence. Not the type of independence that rejects connection or builds walls, but the type that radiates self-assurance, self-respect, and personal direction. When a woman is emotionally independent, she becomes magnetic to men in a way that is both subtle and powerful. She is not cold. She is not distant. She simply does not rely on his attention to maintain her sense of self-worth, and that alone shifts the dynamic completely. Men naturally pursue women who have their own world, a world that existed before him and will continue to exist with or without him. This world can include her passions, her goals, her friendships, her dreams, her growth, her routines, and most importantly, her inner peace. When a woman has a rich internal life, a man feels inspired to earn a place in it rather than being given access by default. Emotional independence communicates something that resonates deeply with masculine psychology. She is choosing him, not needing him. And the moment he senses that difference, his pursuit becomes intentional rather than passive. A woman who is emotionally independent is not easily shaken by silence, distance, or uncertainty. She does not crumble when a man takes longer to reply. She does not spiral into fear when he becomes a little distant. She does not beg for clarity that should naturally come from a man's consistency. Instead, she continues living, growing, and moving in her direction. This steadiness sends a powerful message to him. She values connection, but she does not cling to it. She seeks love, but she does not chase the illusion of it. She desires partnership, but she does not collapse her entire purpose into the presence or absence of one man. This calm emotional stability is rare, and rarity is irresistible. A man feels more comfortable investing emotionally when he sees that she is not a source of constant emotional need. He feels more open when he realizes she will not punish him for minor fluctuations in his mood or pace. He feels safer expressing vulnerability when he senses she is grounded enough to hold space without making his confession about herself. She becomes the woman he can rely on, not because she carries his burdens, but because she maintains her own balance while standing beside him. Emotional independence also teaches him how to show up. When he sees that she values her boundaries, he respects them. When he sees that she has standards for how she receives love, he adjusts his behavior to meet them. When he sees that she can walk away if she is not valued, he becomes more conscious of how he treats her. Emotional independence removes the desperate energy that suffocates connection and replaces it with peaceful confidence that invites him forward rather than pushing him away. The woman who does not collapse into a man becomes the woman he cannot forget. The woman who stays steady becomes the woman he returns to. The woman who values herself becomes the woman he values even more. A man will chase the woman who does not lose her identity for him, because she becomes the rare presence that makes him want to rise to meet her, not the common presence that fades into the background of his life. In short, when you bring together everything we've uncovered, a clear truth emerges about men and relationships. Men do not chase out of confusion, insecurity, fear, or pressure. They chase when a woman awakens something inside them that feels rare, grounding, inspiring, and emotionally enriching. They chase when they sense a woman who stands out not because she demands attention, but because her energy, depth, and inner world naturally command it. A man doesn't stay because a woman tries to convince him. He stays because the connection reflects a version of himself he is proud to become. The feeling that truly makes a man chase forever is a blend of emotional peace, feminine softness, inner confidence, respectful communication, slow mystery, and unwavering self-worth. It is not one single action, but the emotional atmosphere she creates through who she is and how she shows up. She becomes the woman who brings stability without stillness, comfort without complacency, warmth without desperation, and depth without chaos. She becomes the woman who makes him feel understood without being controlled, supported without being smothered, and encouraged without being judged. This balance is rare, and rarity is what draws him in again and again. Men are instinctively drawn to women who elevate their emotional and internal world. When a man realizes that her presence brings calm instead of tension, clarity instead of confusion, maturity instead of volatility, and peace instead of pressure, he begins to reorganize his priorities around her. He starts investing more time, more energy, and more emotional openness, not because he feels obligated, but because he feels fulfilled. A man chases the woman who makes him want to become a better version of himself, not the woman who tries to force change out of him. He chases the woman who inspires emotional growth within him simply through the way she carries her own life. And the most powerful truth of all is this: a man will always pursue the woman who does not lose herself in the process of loving him. A woman who maintains her standards, protects her peace, nurtures her life, and stands firm in her identity becomes unforgettable. She does not chase because she knows that chasing is not what creates love. She does not manipulate because she understands that real connection thrives in honesty. She does not collapse into loneliness because she is complete within herself. And it is this completeness, this emotional wholeness, that becomes the magnetic force drawing him closer every day. In the end, the woman who keeps a man chasing is not the woman who talks the loudest or tries the hardest. It is the woman who shows him a type of emotional experience he cannot find anywhere else. A blend of strength and softness, boundaries and warmth, depth and grace. She becomes the exception in a world full of repetition. She becomes the woman he cannot replace, cannot forget, and cannot walk away from without feeling the weight of loss. And once he feels that, he will chase her not just in the beginning, but throughout the entire relationship, because he knows the value of a woman who brings harmony to his life and meaning to his heart.